President Trump says he sat down with Bob Woodward because it, quote, wasn't a big deal. But his admission that he downplayed the coronavirus to avoid panic now has the president on full defense mode. Last night, he called into Hannity on Fox News.
I'm the leader of the country. I can't be jumping up and down and scaring people. I don't want to scare people. I want people not to panic. And that's exactly what I did.
The newly released recordings are part of 18 interviews the president did with Woodward for his new book, Rage. They reveal the president understood the seriousness of the coronavirus as far back as February.
It's also more deadly than your strenuous flus.
That was the president on February 7th, but just 3 weeks later, speaking publicly.
This is a flu. This is like a flu. Within a couple of days, it's going to be down to close to zero.
And then in March, this admission to Woodward.
I wanted to always play it down. I still like playing it down.
Yes, sir.
Because I don't want to create a panic.
On Twitter, the president is now calling Woodward's book a political hit job, reminding people he banned travelers from China early on, and that Democrats were slow to recognize the severity of the virus.
You should come to Chinatown. Precautions have been taken by our city. We know that there's a concern about tourism traveling all throughout the world, but we think it's very safe to be in Chinatown.
The White House says the president gave the interviews out of transparency. Dr. Anthony Fauci also came to Trump's defense.
Yeah, I don't think he ever distorted things that I spoke to him about.
Meanwhile, on the campaign trail,
he knew how dangerous it was. And while this deadly disease ripped through our nation, he failed to do his job on purpose. It was a life and death betrayal of the American people.
CBN's chief political analyst, David Brody, last night on Faith Nation.
How's this going to affect the president in his reelection campaign?
Well, it's not going to affect him at all in his reelection campaign. I mean, look, the politics are the politics. There's the Trump camp and there's the Biden camp, and there's very few undecided voters in the middle. So this is really more about getting out each other's base.
Biden has made the president's response to the coronavirus the core issue of his campaign. President Trump maintaining his early action saved millions of lives. In Washington, Jenna Browder, CBN News.